Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Happy Friday. I hope you're doing well. It's April 3rd, 2026. Let's see, what's the time on the clock? 1 second. I think it's actually like 3. Almost 2:58 p.m., of course. Hope you are enjoying the end of this week and the beginning of the weekend according to, what your life looks like. I don't know. Maybe for some, you're starting the week on a Friday or your work week or whatever. But hopefully the weekend, there's some distinction of rest in your life, whenever that may be, and relaxation and leisure and fun and all of those good things. Indeed. All right, so I'm back to the black and white cards, keeping it simple, keeping it funky today. And let's see what we got. All right. Oh, that was the Six of Pentacles first, as you can see here, but it flipped back, so I didn't take it. And then the six, and then, I could take it. It's not a big deal for me too, but the energy definitely showed itself that there's some disbursement of wealth underway. Could be waiting on a big payout. Maybe that is coming in increments, or it's like there's, what's the right word? Like there's, I guess disbursement is a word, or increments, where it may be set, or maybe something, here it is, that was supposed to be, as the Six of Pentacles went back in, it was supposed to be kind of like a trickle effect or a time disbursement or release, like you get a little bit here, get a little bit later, and so on and so forth. Maybe it's coming all at once. Either way, would you be mad either way? Honestly, new money is new money, especially if it's good money, which we presume that the Ace of Pentacles is. It's something that it seems that there would have been an alignment for it, justifiably, usually, like it's something that's coming back around, for whatever. Maybe you did a job, or maybe you applied for some type of benefit or resource or grant, even, or loan. Could even be that could be a come up for some, or like I said, it's just something that's come circulating around to you in a timely fashion, that it could either it's coming in increments, and that's a positive thing, or what you thought you would only get a little piece of, or a little trickle in of, is now about to be bigger than expected. That was the World card, and the Six of Swords. Yeah, something has come to a close. Woo, look at this, baby. The Ace of Pentacles to the 8. Oh yeah, I say it's the other way around, like something, but it could be, because like it could be a set for life type of energy too. Like say, those, you could play the lottery for that, like $1,000 a day or something, like for the rest of your life or something like that. And in that regard, that definitely would give the energy like, oh, I know I always got something coming. I could trick this 1,000 off today, and it's, another hitting the bank tomorrow. That's the energy that's here. So whether it is a small amount, is more than what you had, as they say, or I really feel, though, it's something that's coming at a magnitude that's bigger, more than expected, because we've gone from the potential Six of Pentacles to the 8, which is completely self-sufficient and stable energy, set for life, or definitely sovereign financially and materially, if nothing else. Something that, is a dependable transfer of wealth is underway, that, like there's no cause for speculation, or not speculation, but I'm getting like no cause for, I don't know why I feel a need to say this, but skepticism. That's what I hear. Like, it's something that, coming from as an Ace of Pentacles, it might be coming at a magnitude that's a bit astounding, or from a place that you weren't expecting, but the nature of it is pure and is worthy to be received and accepted. Like that. We like that. Let's see what else. King of Cups. It could be coming from, or as a transference from a King of Cups, or you could be the King of Cups because you just love the the sensation that this transfer emits. It really puts you in a really satisfying position, maybe. But let's see what else with this King of Cups. The Knight of Pentacles. Something that was withheld or held back by a King of Cups. So it's given that a King of Cups could have had some type of control, or I hear dominance, but control in a more practical sense, like a sensible way, of some type of transmission or transfer. And it was a long time coming through, but like I said in the beginning, it was something that was just due to come back around. My phone's going off at 3:04, which is a 7. It was something that was due to come back around one way or another. So the suspicion, maybe the reason why I was saying, well, I think I did specify that, but the suspicion, again, could be the amount, the magnitude, the timing, but also the source. If I didn't say that, I meant to, of who is bringing this gift, or where it's coming from, could immediately invoke skepticism, because it's like, halt, who goes there type of energy, or perhaps what for, or from where, or from who, or why now type of thing. But let's see what's on the other side of this Knight of Pentacles. Usually, of all the knights, you can trust the Knight of Pentacles. So it could even be a gift that's given with really loving intentions, perhaps, or meaningful intentions, maybe as a token of appreciation, of love, of admiration. Let's see. Could even be a proposal. I forget that sometimes the Ace of Pentacles can be a proposal, like literally asking for one's hand in marriage. Let's see. Or just a proposal for some type of connection or unification. I heard olive branch, so maybe some type of peace offering. Interesting. A peace offering. Maybe for reconciliation. I don't know. Let me see. That fell on the floor. But it did fall upright. The two of Wands. Somebody wants to give you the world, but do they have it to give is the question. The Knight of Pentacles definitely would raise skepticism to some degree on sight, because a knight typically doesn't have that level of access or authority to offer such a massive proposal or to extend into such a massive proposition. So what's with that too? They mean well though, so it seems right now. It seems like they have high intentions, and it's definitely been a well thought out advance, or a well thought out presentation, I'll say, before they make the advance. And if this is the source of, if this is really the pure nature of the knight as he approaches, like I said, a King of Cups is definitely a compassionate, loving frequency. If this particularly is a love proposition of any kind, especially of the committed kind, you wouldn't mind it being enforced by love or sourced by love. So, you hear the skepticism? Maybe I was talking to myself, because it's like, I see it, but how can I believe it? So maybe that could be you on the other side of some proposal or proposition or presentation of someone that, really seems serious, seems like they really thought out what they wanted to say or how they wanted to present themselves, and it feels sincere. There it is, sincerity here with the King of Cups. It feels sincere, it feels well intended, and with the Two of Wands, it's like really somebody meticulously planned a thing before they made a move. But you hear me, I'm still like, I don't know. Who sent you? Type of energy. Let's see. With the Eight of Cups. Interesting. Maybe even a where did you come from? Because they've walked away from something else. So maybe that's the consideration, and maybe it's something worth contemplating as well, because somebody in front of you could mean all the well in the world, but what did they leave behind? Is it unfinished business? Like, did they sew up their personal affairs? Do they have any baggage in tow? Any unbearable baggage? Because we all got something, right? But like, what is in the past that someone has left behind is a consideration to take seriously when you're thoughtful about perhaps you being in union with someone in any way, shape, or form. Because it could be a business proposition, and you would still want to know someone's professional history or their qualifications or their creative portfolio in some way. And then of course romantically, the obvious, what you running from, what you still got some things that you need to bring some closure to before you start something new. I would say generally, with this being the King of Cups, the Knight of Cups, who usually takes his time to dot T's, cross T's and dot I's, and someone with the Two of Wands that has been very intentional about the choices that they've made, with the big picture in mind. Starting with the Ace of Wands, even still, I'm saying, it looks good. It may even sound good. It certainly has the potential to feel good, especially if someone's coming to the table completely emotionally available, and mature. I would say maybe the Knight of Pentacles is just like the novelty of how they express their love in some way, shape, or form. Because the King of Cups feels very deeply. We know that. But the Knight of Pentacles might still be kind of flexing and getting his bearings straight on how to share that depth in a way that maybe is not overwhelming, you know, that doesn't seem like too much too soon, or especially to the potentially to a nine of pentacles who's kind of single, self-sufficient, and in their own little world. You don't want to come on too strong and push someone away. That's the contemplation that I'm getting, which may be the arousal for skepticism or just a second thought because of how someone presents their, like how they're packaging their proposal, in a sense, where it almost feels like, are you sure? Like, you know, like it makes you almost, I don't know. It feels like there could be a sense of something kind of being unspoken, or um like a strong current under the surface that you can't quite put your finger on, but you know it's something there. It probably, in this case so far, really is the fact that someone is maybe holding back just a bit, because they may really have an ace of pentacles that they want to offer, but there could be, you know, like, well, let me just give this much. Like I was saying earlier, how the six of pentacles is kind of increments or disbursements of a large sum, but the ace is like, here, you know what I mean? Like, let me drop this on your spirit real quick and see if you can handle it. So maybe someone, or it could be that there's a great potential for someone to be able to evolve into that magnitude of an offering with time, and with well, maybe upon reception, I would even say, like kind of testing the waters, filling it out, seeing what seeing what bites first before they lay it on thick, something like that. It doesn't feel negative. It really doesn't. Even though I'm like side-eyeing a little bit, it doesn't feel, it feels exactly how I'm expressing it, where you're going to maybe have a pause for a cause because you sense that there's something more to be known or to be experienced, but history may condition you to believe that that something could be negative because you can't see it or put your finger on it. But the cards are not really leading to that conclusion just yet. So let's see what this, in this case, can we see what this Eight of Cups is walking away from? What's in the background or in the past? Usually I would say walking away too, but I want to go back a little bit. Maybe we being too nosy. Oh, Eight of Pentacles. In this case, I would say it could be something that they had to... No, because that really doesn't... Here I go, trying to twist it again, to invert it. I was going to say like maybe something they had to work too hard for, or a situation that they felt overworked in or overextended. And in some ways that might be the case, where someone's energy wasn't well invested or holistically appreciated, or maybe even undervalued where they were before. And that could be in a multitude of ways. But the Eight of Pentacles really, to me, as it really clarifies that somebody's been working hard. Look how he's working hard on this pentacle. And here, okay, thank you, Spirit. Here it is. Here's the many that someone has in their back pocket. He's just working on the one that he's going to bring to the table to present. But here's the many that they have in store. So somebody's either been working diligently, tirelessly to build a future or a foundation. That could be it, actually, to build a foundation that was worthy to make connection with or to reach outside of themselves. That makes a lot of sense with the Knight of Pentacles. They could have all the love in their heart that they can contain for a person, place, or thing. But if they're not feeling ready and secure and, you know, contented even with themselves to then submit themselves into some type of partnership or commitment, a Knight of Pentacles would hold off. You know, so it's like somebody may not on sight be, it may not be as evident just how ready someone is, you know, or how well prepared they have made themselves. Could even be somebody younger. Now that I'm seeing this with the Knight, there could be some distinction either in age or experience, some distinguishing factor that on sight or at initial encounter would make you question, like, do you even know what you're getting yourself into? Do you know what you're asking for? Do you know what you are committing yourself to or asking me to commit to? Like, do you have a clue of what love really is? And this is saying that somebody maybe has done a great deal of work on themselves in that department to be very sure and very dependable in how they are going to propose or extend their hand. Somebody's either more experienced than they appear to be, or more knowledgeable, more certain, more seasoned than their age may reflect, or maybe even their, like, maybe somebody hasn't had a lot of long-term relationships, but they've had enough, and they've also had enough alone time as well, or they walked away or detached from enough to know what they want and what they don't want, and here they are to make that plain. So that could be the thing where on sight it's like, I don't know, like, looks good, it really does, because the Eight of Pentacles, that's a hard work and dedicated person to whatever they find a passion for, whatever they find an interest in. They'll put their all into it, blood, sweat, and tears. That ain't bad either. That's not a bad characteristic to have for a proposal of a commitment in some way, shape, or form, or some new beginning that's being extended here. All right, so let's see. Should I keep going? Yeah, I guess. It's only 22. Let's try to go fast. Look at this. You know what? I should have stopped there. But you know what? This is... let me get another one. Let me get another one. That'll tell me for sure. I think that was a Knight, but I couldn't really see which one. Oh, the Ten of Cups. I'm sorry, the Ten of Pentacles. Oh, shit, sorry. The Ten of Wands. I'm sorry. The Ten of Swords. But what I was going to say is, like, I feel like this is, you know what this is giving me, honestly? It's giving me somebody that really wants to leave the past in the past. They may have been through a great deal of betrayal, and maybe that could be the contribution to their wisdom. You know, they could have been through a great deal of betrayal and in a season or a cycle of their life, and they worked very hard to transcend that disparity and to, like, build anew. But it's given to me, honestly, as somebody that wants to leave that part of their life. Like I said, what are you leaving behind? They really want to leave that in the past. Like, and maybe that's a good thing that they don't, it's not somebody that's going to want to drudge up the past in conversation per se, or reminiscing, or, and more importantly, I like this because it's given to me that someone has healed enough from their transgressions whatever they may be, as I heard the horn outside, that it's not baggage that's coming with them. That's what I'm seeing here. Because they've released and really brought closure and an ending to those unfavorable circumstances, maybe where they were cheated on, or maybe they were the cheater, perhaps, or there was some misfortune in their past that they learned from, they grew from, that is not going to contribute to who they are in anything new. That's what I'm getting here. Because like how just as much as a scorned woman can be a piece of work, a scorned man can be too. So you really wouldn't want to have that residue following you into something new and something that really has a great potential here, because you couldn't shake it off before you came. And maybe that's what took them so long. They had to really heal some stuff, some deep stuff, some traumatic stuff, so it seems. And they put in the work, they put in the hours, they put in the time, they put in the intention, and here they are. And that could also be the cause for caution in their approach as well, because there could be a little bit of, a bit of like not a defensiveness, but what's the right word? I guess like kind of like a defense in the sense on how hard they, because they could be very sensitive to have done a great deal of work on yourself and come to a point where you feel finally secure to make a move or shoot your shot or whatever the case may be. You would be a bit caution, a bit, it's a word I'm looking for, not apprehensive, but like you would take your time approaching, first of all, until you know that you are strong enough and stable enough to handle however way it goes, but also still with the reservation that, the feeling may not be mutual. Like I was saying earlier, somebody could have a hell of a lot of love stored up and really want to offer themselves in a big way, but you don't really know if somebody else shares that sentiment, especially if you're coming out of nowhere with it or coming from some unsuspected place or time with it, like I just met you, or where you come from, I ain't seen you in years, type of thing. And it's like, little did you know, you've been their inspiration to get their shit together all this time. But it's that gamble that the propositioner, I suppose, has to take. It's not for the faint of heart, for sure. Especially when you have a lot invested in it. 8 of Pentacles, like your heart is on the line. Damn, this is cool. Imagine that, like wow, look at this. Yeah, wow. Because man, whatever somebody went through, they're very deceiving to the eye, because they have been groomed beyond just a mere king status. That's just how they come in and how they look. But, or maybe even, how they are, but this is the potential here. This Emperor, you really may be the missing piece in somebody's kingdom, and they recognize that. In somebody's establishment, in somebody's company, in somebody's, on somebody's team, whatever the case may be, however you want to splice it, you may be the missing link and somebody recognizes it. And that could also be the concealment in a sense, because like I said, not wanting to pour too much on, to put too much pressure onto somebody. You know, like imagine like first encounter, a first date, or whatever the case may be. And really this person the whole time is thinking like you the one, and you don't even know that. You don't even know how deeply they feel for you, or how highly they see you. That could be intimidating on either side, because it's a lot to take in on the receiving end, and it's a lot to lay on the line on the giving side. That's so interesting. All right, let's see what else. Yeah, their trials and tribulations have groomed them a whole grown ass man, like a whole boss out here, a whole boss. With the Page of Cups. But they're very tender, though, at the same time. That's what I'm getting. It's some serious tendernism here with the King of Cups, and like they're very sensitive. At least about this thing. Maybe about you, or about, again, putting themselves out there. Perhaps because they haven't in this way in a long time. Like they're used to holding back. They're used to not giving but so much, especially when they don't see the inspiration for it, or because they have been inspired to before, maybe have been hurt. And then, you know, when you go through the process of like solitude and you know, kind of introspection, and finding, like, just doing the work on yourself, it's hard to put yourself out there again. You don't even know how vulnerable you are until, number one, you finally make that decision here with the Knight of Pentacles, like, I'm going for it. And then it's another thing to actually put one foot in front of the other. And then it's another thing to actually be standing in front of the thing, the person, the place, the opportunity that you covet so dearly. It's just, oh. That's sweet. And it could even be like, not for nothing, somebody seeing you as the mother of their kids. They see an offspring with you, prosperity with you, or they see something that can, something good that can come of your connection. Again, take it however it resonates, professionally, platonically. There's something romantically that they feel that you two can do together that would produce something vital, with the Page of Cups here. Like they want to plant their seed with you, maybe in you, I don't know, baby. Let's see. Or they want to expand their kingdom. That could be, ooh. They want to plant their seed. They do. They want some action. In some way, shape and form, some vital, passionate action. They want a safe space to plug in. Take that how it resonates. But the way it's coming up here is it's ordained. It's ordained. All right, let me hurry up and get up out of here. This is holy passion. Passion with purpose. Yeah, they feel a lot. Imagine, like, All this ace energy, no wonder somebody's like, they got a lot of pent up aggression or eagerness, and then maybe a little anxiety, and they want to release in a really significant way. But here it is yet again, an even more practical and simple sense. You will want to come up on somebody initially giving off the impression that it's just sexual or it's just erotic or lustful. You got to kind of pull back on those impulses a bit, even though they're natural. So that could also be the detection of like an undercurrent here, like what's going on? They could be so anxious and so aroused that maybe in a way that they haven't found themselves being so before. The right energy can do that to you. You could find yourself being completely inactive, maybe even damn near asexual, and then next thing you know, like you just turned on to no end, it seems. Trust me, I know that. I know that for a fact. Personal experience. Ooh, with the temperance. What I say? I said it's ordained, it's balanced, it's holy, it's righteous, it's safe, it's secure, it's disciplined. Somebody knows how to hold it together, which is a good thing. They have the self-control not to just, prematurely release in a way that is off-putting or that would taint the sanctity of the commitment or the potential of the sanctity of whatever we're talking about here. Yeah, like somebody that would, even with all that they may be experiencing internally, they still treat, that's what it is. They treat something delicately with like white gloves because they feel like it's too precious to mishandle. Maybe even think you are too precious to mishandle. So they want to make sure they come correct, they say the right things, they don't come off too pushy, too eager, too aggressive, too too over consuming with love and stuff, like too emotional. Like they're trying to balance all the frequencies, or maybe they have before they make their approach. But I got a feeling I will see what the last card is. Like they may think they have it all together, and maybe they do, at least to approach, but I have a feeling that this is not an energy that's going to be able to contain itself for very long. There's too much to stifle here. That's pure. That really is pure. I feel like all they are going to need is the green light that all systems are a go, or you feel the same way, or you're on the same page, or you're receptive to their offer or their proposal or whatever. And then it's going to be like, oh goodness, I don't even know what to call what I just felt. It felt good though, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie, it did. Like for somebody to just completely pour out their everything that they've been holding back onto you the moment they feel it's safe to do so, like pure adoration. That's what I'm feeling. One more. With the Page of Pentacles. Another baby? I guess it's like the materialization of the emotional aspect of them. That's what I have to give it to. Or, like I said, it literally, like how I'm speculating, maybe that's the confirmation here. Like this is the result of the work that's been done, like the form that it takes. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. That's what I, because the Pentacles is far more material than the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is like the sentiment. So they may feel like I wanna, plant my seed there, or I wanna build a foundation there, or I want to, to have that sentiment, that intention is not a physical manifestation quite yet. But like I was just saying, like I got a feeling that after all systems are a go and everything is just flowing naturally without any resistance, it'll only be a matter of time. Like right after that, under the Eight of Pentacles, here it is, a manifested a frequency that is manifested materially. Could be a child, could be a thing, could be the business created together, could be a fortune, that has now merged into one entity together. Whatever this Page of Pentacles is, it's positive and it's affirmative. It's like a direct, it's like a derivative of all the time, a descendant or a derivative. I don't know which one would make more sense, but either, I guess, of everything that has been invested. It's like not being sure whether or not all the time and energy and effort and tension, work that was gone into a thing from the onset through, the off season, to the moment of decision, to the moment of advance, to the moment of proposition, not being able to have any guarantee actually of what it might yield until it actually does. And then here it is, Page of Pentacles. Something real, something that can be managed, measured, something that is tangible, something that it can be felt, tasted, touched, seen, accounted for. That literally is the evidence of all of your faith, of all the things that were hoped for. Oh, that's really beautiful. That's so beautiful. That makes me emotional. And that could be in so many ways. It doesn't have to be relational or romantic, but literally having manifested the evidence of those things that all you could do was have faith for. Like I said, somebody may have been inspired by just the sheer possibility of being in partnership with somebody like you, or being connected or committed with someone like you, but never having a guarantee, not even being sure of their own capability to do the work, to put themselves in the proper position to manage such a gift. Like somebody sees you as a gift. Wow. And so the hope persisted, the work persisted in the spirit of faith. But up until the very end, and probably not yet even still, but until, or maybe even to the point where, like I said, there is the green light and everything is affirmed. Like, yes, I would like to go out with you, or yes, I love you, or yes, I see this being a forever thing, or a long-term thing, or I would like to be committed. I would like to work with you. I would like to create with you. I would like to build with you. Somebody had no guarantee that their hard work, of which they've been inspired in one particular way, would actually pay off. And now it either has or it's about to. I say it already has, because the inspiration is the gift alone. Who you get to become on the other side of that inspiration is really and truly the prosperity of it all. Because you might not get the so-called prize, packaged the way that you thought you would, but the person that you become, the character that you refine, the identity that you ascend to, oh, that's it right there. You won. You got it. You got it. Mm-hmm. You have transmuted yourself into the gift. And I know about that too, because who and what inspired my um drive for uh transformation at one point in my journey um wasn't what maintained that determination, because what I thought I was inspired by wasn't even what it appeared to be in the first place. What it really did is just initiated that spark in me to have something in mind, something that, would ultimately um arouse me, ultimately, yeah, that aroused me to the challenge and the charge. But once I got in it, it was very much so for me. And then as I continued on and started to, and even now continue to appreciate who I've become on the other side of all of that, I feel like I have won. No, I didn't. It didn't attract the prize that I thought was, my gold at the end of the rainbow. It did not, and I'm glad it did not. But I got the gold because I realized that the gold was me the whole time. I was the prize. The sheer fact that I had any will or determination to ascend to anything better than what I was on track to be consciously had already ordained me the prize. And it's just a matter of whomever is so privileged and so blessed to encounter, let alone receive me. Yeah. So I give thanks to that. Yeah, that was my point of enlightenment. And what's this? Ooh, with the 10 of Pentacles that I said earlier. And look at this Knight of Swords. I don't know about that, Knight of Swords. You look like too little too late. Yeah, because the star is already on the rise and everything that is not in alignment has fallen. And it cannot, anything that's not structured and dependable has already eliminated itself. And the Strength card. Need I say more? That was the will and determination that it took initially to for this energy that I'm speaking of, and also from personal experience to start the journey. And this is the refinement that you become more conscious of, was already resonant within you as you continue on. And certainly is what sustains you throughout anything that you could face here on out. It's eternal. Like once you have a certain strength, a certain will, a certain determination, a certain confidence that's been curated by experience, there's very little that can take away from that. You will always be able to source that energy, especially when you need it most. So that means when you are encountered with propositions that are not in alignment, you know how to gracefully decline and stand your ground for what you know you're worth. And when you're faced with that moment, as I've been speaking of, where it's like almost too good to be true and you kind of want to jump ship because it's like, what the hell is going on here? You'll stand your ground for that as well and allow yourself to receive, even if it's in ways that you've never experienced before. There takes a great deal of strength for that as well, but a soft strength. It's an internal strength, like a solidness within, not a hard exterior, at least in the feminine aspect. And I would say even in some ways for the masculine, there's a good balance there. And even the energy of like self-control and conserving your energy, like not being too over anxious or eager knowing how to balance those spiritual and those primal instincts in a way that maintains righteousness, but that is still pure, you know, because you can't negate the flesh. It is you, you know. You can't be all spiritual all the time, but you know, it can be a balance of the two almost most of the time, if not as often as you allow it to be. So, and eventually, when you really get to an ascended place, I would say always, you know, but I'm sure we're still making our way to that, you know. Yeah. But anyway, this is really cool. I love this. I love this. Anyway, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.